Music.
How are you doing?
Turn.
Taller than you used to be. Always was too tall.
Oh, did you?
Hey, Vance, will you have our I got that out.
You didn't know. Don't worry about it.
When you stop by, they had a store there.
This is my water bed. Hi, Leo. Will you leave it?
I don't have to do that. I didn't either at a different one. I didn't know why. I just kept it quiet.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, that's what
This is where I was going up the steps here one day and I got pinched on.
No.
Get everybody inside. Is everybody in? No. There should be about 40 out there, I think.
Bob Crow.
Yes, one of the best.
See, I know. How are you? Yeah.
Did you get my letter?
I don't know what the appropriate greeting would be, welcome back or welcome home or whatever, but in 1983, we bought this building and we intended, it was going to be torn down. And the school, we went to the school board when we were with the Chamber of Commerce and asked them if they would not tear it down. They said it was a liability and it was going to cost them quite a bit of money to do so. So Chamber negotiated actually to buy it and thought we would get some kind of industry located here. Wasn't successful in doing that, so 4 or 5 of us guys bought it for a recreational facility. We were going to put a skating rink and doing some different things, and we found out that it was cost prohibitive to do so, so we just killed that idea, and we'd worked with Mary for a long, long time and decided that we'd go out on our own and start a factory in here, which we did.
See, I taught him everything he knows.
That's true. You wouldn't believe how much of that is true. But anyway, in July 1984, we started building furniture here in this. And the name of the company, of course, is Hillcrest, after the old annual. And so we're 8 years old next month. So as we spent time here, we didn't really do a lot to the building because it was a factory. And all we did basically in here is just make some offices out of some of these rooms. You can stick your heads in there and look around. I apologize for the housekeeping. We are in the middle of getting ready for inventory in 2 weeks. So this being a warehouse, most of our production is done at the other building. We built some frames downstairs on the gymnasium floor, which you'll see. The gymnasium's not there anymore. We closed it in, made 2 stories out of or made 1 story each out of the 2 open there, and we'll walk out on that. But we needed it. So we quickly outgrew this building and bought some land and built on the other side. So downstairs on the basement floor, basically what you'll see is wood material dimension. And then out on the gymnasium floor will be where we assemble our frames. Then we send them down to the other place. On this floor out here is inventory. And on the top floor, we are, right now, it's partially inventory, and we're getting ready, starting in the fall, we're going to build a showroom out of the auditorium. And it will have one of most of the items that we make here, which we make over 450 different items. So we'll be, hopefully you'll come back in next year and just look around, because we're going to try to keep it the same, basically. We're going to keep the high ceilings, the wood floors, finish them, the stage. It's all there. I mean, we haven't changed anything. All we changed basically was enough to be allowed to come in here under an H2 classification to work, because the building had been condemned. It had to be condemned in order to build a new school. So we came back and did whatever was necessary for that reason. So what we're going to do, there's going to be some areas where it's going to be real difficult to get through. So what we'll do is we'll go upstairs and walk diagonally into the auditorium and out the far corner, just through, and you can meander, but you'll kind of have to stay together because you'll be walking past fabric and frames and all sorts of things. And look around. We'll go slow so that you won't have to, you can have time to reminisce if you'd like. I sit up here a lot at night, and of course the building means a lot to me because I graduated here, Charlie graduated here, we were presidents for class and enjoyed here. Right inside that door there where we built the wall, Rosemary Lewis, my wife, and I shared a locker together when we were sparking. And, she was the monitor in this hall, and on the other side over there where Floyd Fancher had math class, I would ask to be excused, go to the restroom so I could wave at her, whatever. But and the building talks to you at night. It's it creaks and goes on, but it's a friendly kind of an atmosphere. It's nothing to be worried about. But when you go through, I'm sure after the many years that you've been away from here, you'll sort of wish that it were a school again, but it's not. It's a factory, and I'm sorry I can't change that. But we use it kind of with it. So.
Randy, I asked a question. Are there any of the old pictures of Wetton Hall still here?
There was nothing in the building when we got it, except some of the seats upstairs in the auditorium.
There's been a lot of discussion about where our class picture got.
They actually,
we don't know.
Well,
all
the pictures were sold at the auction.
Were they? Okay. So somebody bought it.
Yeah, somebody has it. And Rosemary, I think, found hers, and I'm not sure which one of the class members had it, but yeah, they came in and stripped the building. And then we had some people working in here, and right at the beginning, and those people, unfortunately, were not quite as reputable as they ought to be, and they took all the brass doorknobs and brass fixtures and things like that. When we first had the building, they even stripped out a lot of copper wire.
Got the sundial.
Have no idea. It was gone before we got it. The bench, the sundial, they even tried to take the arches and the things down there, but they turned one over and we just left it. We'd given that to the school because they were going to put it up as an Arbor Day sort of a thing, and they have a place for it over there, but they've never come to get it. So I guess they looked at it and figured out where we're going to move. But it's already been moved once, so we ought to be able to move it again. So. Well, let's.
Okay, so you're going to be following him, and as you come by, I'm going to give you a hello, I'm so-and-so. Sometime between here and lunch, put your name on it and stick it on yourself. Maybe we'll be able to talk to each other at dinner.
Who's the farthest away? Yeah? Who's the person that came the farthest?
Oh, isn't that the office?
Probably Kurt.
California, that's far enough.
nice picture.
Wait, I
have to know whether you're
I'm Wanda Wilson now.
He wasn't mine either. He wasn't ours. He must have been in finals. Maybe he was class of 56. I got all the old stuff. I don't know. I know, the one's older. Do you have that teacher's True Blood?
I didn't take them yet.
This was Mrs. Teepers.
Teaford, yeah, this
Yeah.
was Miss McKittrick.
Yeah.
She had a heart attack. didn't she?
Who was over here?
Wasn't that the office?
Yeah, Mr. Lehman's office was there.
That was Miss McKittrick's.
Yeah, I was
Teaford.
there.
Mrs. Teaford Best or Miss?
I keep thinking, where do I know you? I couldn't even.
We were taller then.
Yeah, right. 6 feet 4, 300 pounds.
And they brought her back from New Mexico. She died down there. Yeah, she got sick in February.
What were your lines?
What were some of the... I ran you like I would one of my cattle. That was one. I was the villain. I stood right about here with a poker stick that we had painted red on the end, and the whole audience just screamed, I'll brand you like I would one of my cattle.
Oh, that was the beginning.
It looks larger from up here.
Great career. Oh, yeah.
Brings back memories.
Nice stage, really.
I wonder what this ceiling is. Is it teal?
But he played one the first night, and I played the second one.
Do you remember any Margaret the Maid lines?
Oh, no, I don't.
Were you in the play, the senior?
No, I was, see, I was in the class of 54.
Okay.
I'm here with Wanda. I'm Wanda's sister.
Okay.
So I'm a crasher.
I think I would remember how.
Yeah, can you remember that?
I remember these things.
Yeah, it hung down or supported it.
Yeah. Memories of this play.
In the paper that this gymnasium held the population of Paoli and Orleans. And that was like 2,700 people or something like that packed one day. It may have been.
1948.
But of course, it's a cracker box now. It was the biggest gymnasium, I guess, in the area. What?
Because we all had, actually had the museum, got the sections and everything.
Right here. 17.
March, the band used to march on the floor.
Maybe more than that.
Do formations.
Both people? Both people in the band? How many was in the band?
Oh, we had probably 50 or 60.
Really? I say tight on the floor here, but
Well, remember that double set. This one wasn't regulation.
We know very well the way the rules acted. They knew there was a hole. We know that.
Which side was that? Which side was the girls' shower?
In the room upstairs over the girls' shower room. This side, we cut a hole in the floor so you can
I
look
knew there
down.
was one.
Cry!
Yeah, I knew there was.
What's the girls' shower?
Probably the ones that there was.
I was, I never took him.
Well, you have better views than we did, Leo.
All these years I've never told.
Never know what, Leo?
But I took a shower this side.
I guess we've got to move on.
Better than half the class still live on town. We're back. They went away and they all came back. Landscape.
Right there on the public display.
See, they're braced.
Was it Mr. McDonald?
Yeah, Mr. McDonald.
For 100 years.
That's a lot. That's a, boy, thank you. Can't remember what was in there. When I first took some shop,
And when I was in school here at Shop, they built that. They built it in the back.
Good basketball player you were.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I
You played a lot of good games down there, didn't you?
Hi, how are you?
years ago, yeah. Guess what?
Are you in the picture?
Good, we're going west. We want to go 70, but we changed our minds on that.
We still got a great dog. Hey, baby, say hi,
Pictures of them.
which is much
Three papers.
We've got one more to go. Thank you. You and David.
Give me my wife. So we're going to what, the hotel?
I remember jumping rope right down here on the blacktop. I remember jumping rope down here.
Yeah. I remember the ball field down there.
Yes. The meal today is $5.75 a person. I will be taking the money for that. Then we're going to be having to take up an offering after a while, pass the hat for some class expenses, which Phil will explain to you. We had to rent the room and, you know, some postage and things that we'll use that for. But I want to take the money for the meal and find out how many of us there actually are going here to eat. so that we can take care of that business. So if you'd like to come to the middle table over here, I'll make them up.
She gave the picky maker all the time in high school. It's never on like I understand you're doing quite well.
I'd like to welcome all of you. It's good to see all of you today, and we were real pleased with the turnout. And there may be some more tonight. We don't know. We had a few that said they'd be here that didn't come, and I think a few we didn't know about that were here. So we're real happy to have all of you. A couple of items of business. First of all, Joanne probably should have collected $11.50, right?
Right, for 2 people.
For 2 people, so if you only pay $10.50, you got a real good deal. And if you want to be real honest about it, give her $1 after a while, she'll appreciate it. The other thing, the expenses of the putting everything together. We'll come up with a figure. I don't know. Have you got a figure yet, Joanne, on that?
I'd say right at $100.
Right at $100. So we'll need to pass the hat after a while for that. Try to collect $100 to cover the cost of the room and other things, postage and so on that we've been out. So we'll do that after we eat. Also, we'll be having a waiter take care of it. It's going to be a buffet, but there'll be a waiter taking care of it here, so we'll need to leave a tip for him, whatever you'd like to do. The alumni scholarship funds. If anybody would like to make a donation to that, you can do it here today, or you can do it tonight over at the banquet. The banquet is at 7? 6 o'clock over at the high school. So we'll see all of you there that are going to be attending over there. Is there anything else we need to mention before we get ready to eat? If not, we're going to ask Leo Waynick to return thanks for us before we eat.
Gracious God, who opens doors for us to walk through and windows in which we can look. God who makes flowers to grow in this world and flowers to grow in our life. Who causes things to grow and to increase. And who has blessed us so bountifully over these many years. We give you thanks that we can come together to see the fruit of our lives and to share who we are and what we have been with each other. We ask you to bless this day, that it will be rich for many of us. We'll create new memories as we remember old ones. And that we'll not only be nourished by the food that we share, that we'll be nourished by the friendship and the love that has been ours and will continue till we die. So bless us, O Lord, and care for us in this special day. And we'll always give you the thanks. Amen.
This is Pat, and it's really wonderful being here today. And I wish that we could do this again in 5 years so we'd still be able to recognize each other.
And to be here today, I've enjoyed seeing so many people that I really hadn't had the opportunity to see for 40 years. My name's Martha Banks Cornwell, and the food was delicious.
So what about going up to the school?
Oh, I enjoyed so much going to the school today. I had not been back, and it was really interesting to look through it, and we enjoyed it very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, we're all happy to be here, I guess. I'm glad to see everybody that's here.
Anybody here that you haven't seen for some time?
Yeah, Mary King, Bill Walker, and Curtis Music.
They all look the same, or have they changed a little?
Oh, they're changed just a little, not too much.
Anything else?
This is the first time in 40 years I've ever been here, and I think I'll come back next time. Yeah.
What have you enjoyed about it?
Oh, seen everybody. Hadn't seen for 40 years. Some people hadn't seen for 35, 40 years. That's when we graduated from school.
And where do you live now?
Live 2 miles west of Paoli, on your grandpa's old place where he used to live down there.
I'm Bob Crow. Enjoyed seeing everybody. I was here 10 years ago for our 30th, and people really haven't changed in the 10 years, but they sure changed a lot in the first 30. I'm single, live down in Huntsville, Alabama, and certainly enjoying seeing everybody and looking forward to the banquet tonight. Here, Hammonds, this is your... just say go to hell or something.
Terrible about carrying Bob Crow in there.
He don't believe I can. He was passed out.
He was passed out and you had to carry him in.
Well, it's just really great to be here after all these years, to see people that I haven't seen for 40 years and see how young many of us look. And I just hope that I'll have a lot more chance to meet everybody and talk to everybody. It's great to come back and be with some of the best friends that you've had all your life, and to renew these acquaintances and pick up after 40 years just like it was yesterday.
That's great. Thank you. Okay.
It's good to be back. Seems like I left a long time ago, and it was very good to see all those people that have been here and members of our class. And I especially was happy to bring my wife here, Bonnie. We have 6 grandchildren. I said about because we got one more pretty close to coming. And but it's been nice to look around the square and see that they haven't moved the old cannons, and go to the high school and see that at least it's still there. And but thank you for keeping the town together.
Thank you.
What's it?
Okay. You're on.
I'm on. Great. I'm on camera, right?
Yeah.
What I understand, it costs $15 for a tape of this, which, in my opinion, I think it's going to be well worth it. Not for the now, but for the past and the future, just to relive these memories and the times that we shared with everybody.
Now that's your commercial. That's my commercial there. So.
I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad everybody else came, and we've had a good time this afternoon.
Just go ahead and say what you just now said.
Well, appreciate seeing all the classmates, everybody healthy, having a good time.
All right.
Who has the most grandchildren? 6.5, she says. Anybody beat 6?
Harriet.
Harriet?
But she's gone. 9.5. She doesn't have.
She's got 9. She's not got more than 9. She left. She's gone?
Yes, she's gone. You can't win now.
Yeah, she's not gone.
Can't win then. Sorry, default. Default. Okay, anybody got more than 6? Leo's got 6 down here. You got 6? Richard. Wanda has 7. We got something special for you for your grandchildren. Grandma's cake. Little something. Let's see. What else have I got in here? I want to know who retired first. Well, we've got a bunch of people in here retired. And it really makes us feel old when we consider how many of us retired. Who retired? 91? 1991. Anybody retired before 1991? Bill? 70. Now, I ask you, does it count if you retire and go back to work?
Well, I'm back to work, so
He's retired from the Air Force in 73. Anybody earlier than that?
Why are you working? You're supposed to be working in the first place.
Anybody retire earlier than 73? Okay, Bob, you get this. Remember when?
Real magic. Remember when? That 39.
Who came the farthest? Anybody come further than California? First, you got a real big prize here. I want to know who has been married to the same person the longest.
You've been married to the same person.
You got to be married to the same person now for the longest period. Who's been married the longest to the same person?
I've been married 39 years. I had 1 week.
40? More than 40? More than 40 years, anybody? Nobody more than 40?
Her name is still I guess.
Yeah, you have to work for this next part. I want each one of you, at each table, to get up, stand up, and tell us who you are, because we already know who you are. Tell us something about, just one little thing about yourself that's not in the book, it's not printed, something about yourself. And remember when, from school, if you can think of something. Something funny, something whatever. And we're going to vote on the remember when. So who has the best story gets the next prize, okay? So John, we'll start with you. Tell us something about yourself.
I got to think about it.
You got to think about it. Kenny?
I have trouble remembering what happened this morning.
Stand up and tell us something back there. Louder. They're just not doing that, Bill. Billy, how about you? Tell us something about yourself.
Well, I'm going to tell something about the class one time. I was over there doing butchering a lot, and I went to bed early. And Eric Jones and I think Annabelle Kirby and a bunch of them come in there one night, and I was in bed asleep on the birthday party. Bill Gregory's in the deal. Bill, I think, ate about a dozen oranges over there. My dad had oranges that night. His mother gave him a devil pork about it.
Okay. Kenny, John, Renee, Doss, come on around here. Leo, you got something to say?
Something about myself?
Well, something about yourself, or remember when from school nights?
Well, I was just thinking, when we were up at the school, I said to some of you, I remember on that stage on the senior play, and the line that came back, I'll brand you like I would one of my cattle. And I was trying to think who it was that I did that to. But there was a little Indian maiden that I did that to. It was you, wasn't it? I think it was. You might be interested to know that from that experience, I picked that, I was in drama in college, and Betty and I picked it up and have been in community theater for about the last 10 years, and it's been some of the most joyful experiences outside of work that I've had.
Good. Hey?
I just married one, and I have two grandchildren, one son. They all live in Mitchell, and my granddaughter went to college this fall. My grandson works at Carpenter's, and I've been in Mitchell about 21 years now. We built a house out in the country, and that's where I've been.
Okay, Bill?
This is the first one I had been to, because being in the military and everything. And my impression is that I just can't believe how great it is
be back with all the people that I was raised with. I grew up with, went to school, and I hope this is not the last.
Someone said we should have 45 years, just in case some of us don't make it to Richard?
I can't think.
Can't think of a school-based story?
Maybe later.
Okay. This table. Paoli, couldn't tell you who you were from the back.
Thanks. Well, I'm glad to be here. This is the first reunion that we have been to, and hope to see all of you tonight again.
What?
I can't think of anything either.
Other than the stories are not very good so
The
far.
only thought that entered my mind in school, we were Leo, and I knew he wanted to be a minister. And I thought, oh dear me, I sure wouldn't want to marry a minister. And lo and behold,
Oh, you won't do it.
later, that's what happened. So I've been a minister for 30-some odd years.
I'm not surprised.
Okay, Wanda?
Oh, I can't think of anything that I can tell. I can think of a lot of things I can tell that, I really shouldn't, but I'm glad to see everybody, and I think it's great. And I think the 45 years, or the 5 years is a good idea.
Sandra?
I think it's nice for everybody to be here today, and I enjoyed the high school tour as much as anything, and I think 5 years would be nice too.
Marley?
The only thing I can think about is when somebody brought the bird feathers into Miss Alexander's Latin class, and she went hysterical because she was terrified of birds. So, and I like the 5 years.
I can't really say much about anything that most of you don't know that I've already done. The one thing that really sticks out in my mind about back when we was younger, I guess 40 years ago, some of us got out one night and got a little wild and went out to Bob Marshall's dad out there to quarry. And wonder we all hadn't really ended up in the quarry somewhere dead. But we got plumb out of hand, and his dad sort of took us on his wing and got us back on the right track. But like the rest of them, I really enjoy seeing everybody here today. But there is a lot of people that live here locally that I see day in and day out, maybe not day in and day out, I see on a regular basis. I relate to them. They're not aging. Some of these people I would have a little trouble relating to, by your looks. What I'm trying to say, not that you're getting older, but I don't see as much to recognize you.
Bill? Mary?
I wanted to take you back a little farther than graduation. So I lost a tooth, like a 5-year-old kid. So I did that a week ago just for nostalgia. But I was thinking for the occasion. I guess I was thinking a little bit about Mr. Stallcup's government class when Vance and Merle and I don't know who else, Roger Jackson, we introduced a bill for a cat tax. And didn't go over very well, but it was advanced. Congress is worse than that now by far.
Mary, you got anything you want to add?
Well, I'll stand up and be seen. I'm grown up now, and I'm not as bashful as I was when I was in high school. And I'm sorry if I can't remember your name. I've never been good with names. I took attendance charts in high school for Mr. Lehman, and I knew people's names, but I never could put them with the right faces. I just knew if you were missing because the teacher turned in your slip. So I knew the people who didn't show up better than the people who were there.
Okay, Vance? Sue?
The only thing I'm glad everybody did show up today, because we had a lot of trouble getting addresses. So everybody keep your addresses current with some of us members that's local.
Ruth?
I don't have any story. I'm just glad to be here and glad to see everyone.
I'm going to throw a story here in the middle before we go this direction. I don't know, any of you in Miss Lula Hill's class in the first grade with me?
Yes.
Do you happen to remember when she lit the jack-o'-lantern and caught the wastebasket on fire? Very calmly what she did, she just raised the window, pitched the wastebasket out the window. I'll never forget that. Okay, Bob.
Well,
Glad to see everybody. Everybody having a good time. Appreciate it.
You don't want to add anything to the escapade of Raymond's?
No.
He started rubbing his head over here when Raymond started talking. Bill?
I don't have anything particular. I missed McKittrick's class. Always was interesting because she was, she was pretty much of a disciplinarian, and we weren't too receptive to that. She had a rock, if you remember, on her desk that every once in a while when she got real upset, she'd hit the desk with that rock. And that last year, boy, she hit that desk a lot.
You know, I never did have the chance to have Miss McKittrick for class, but I was in the class play, Leo related to, and Merle says today that I talk too loud, and I do. I grant you that. I talk too loud most of the time, but I still blame Ethel McKittrick for that. I say every time he tells me this, I said, that's Miss McKittrick's fault. I'm sorry. But I remember her favorite line in the class play was, speak up, I can't hear you. And she'd say, if you've got something to say it so people can hear it. If you don't have anything to say, sit down and shut up. Merle? Don't say I talk too loud.
No, she doesn't talk too loud, she just talks too much.
That way.
I really appreciate being here. I appreciate all the rest of you being here. There's quite a bit of hard work put into getting this all together and everything, and we've been well rewarded. It's so nice to visit with all of you and to know that you're all well. I think as a class as a whole, our health is real good with this many people. For that, we should be thankful. I'm thankful of the years past, the teachers that we had that give us a start in life that we got, and our parents and everything. That was something that we need to keep in mind, because we've all done pretty well for ourselves, and that's great. And one other thing that I might, in fact, just happened to think about, when Bill started high school here, he had a Crosley. And we used to go to ball games in the Crosley, and it only hold about 4, and a lot of times we'd almost have to get out and push going uphill and everything, but we've had some wonderful experiences of riding that Crosley at the ball game, which I forgot about the Crosley. That'd be quite a collector's item if we had that now. But again, appreciate you all being here. Glad you all look so good. Nobody's aged. You all look the same as you did.
You can see that I talk loud enough for both of us, because you probably couldn't hear you. I'll say, what'd you say? What'd you say? And he's the one that wears the hearing aids. Okay? No comments, Libby.
I think it's all been said, but I, like everybody else, I'm very glad to see everybody that we haven't seen for years, and we've got a good turnout. I did enjoy the tour of the school, and I think they've done real well there, and I look forward to the rest of the day, seeing everybody. I enjoyed the newspaper work.
Shirley, you like to say? No? Martha?
Well, I think I've already said that I enjoyed the school just so much. It was lots of fun, and getting to see everybody is just great, because I hadn't really had the opportunity since I left. And not that I'm so far away, but I just hadn't seen most of them. And I used to love the sectional at ball game time, because we would get to go in the morning, and you got your ticket, and you had to stand outside and wait to get in, and then you got to go to town for lunch, and lots of times you got to walk, and you got to visit. And I think we miss a lot of that, but I guess time just changes everything.
Well, I retired last year. I laughed and said before I became like Mrs. McKittrick, I forgot to turn the car off at night when I got home. But I forget to take my keys out now. But I think the thing I remember about school probably is the old green Dodge I drove.
Okay, Bob?
I don't know who else helped put it together, but I think we all owe Joanna a round of applause for her work.
Who else? Well, Phil, and we had about 10 or 12 people here in town that worked together.
also,
The Sioux Baldwin, I couldn't begin to name, there was 10 or 12 of us.
yeah. Also, I remember after some event, a bunch of us ended up at Spring Mill, and the girls fixed scrambled eggs, and I think they had cheese in it. And Annabelle reminds me who all was there, and also that being well prepared, they didn't have any milk or anything for the scrambled eggs, so they fixed it with beer, which somebody happened to have. Well, I don't remember whether we ate it or not, but I do remember the event.
Well, it's nice seeing all of you. And one thing I remember, and correct me if I'm wrong, but how rushed we were at the last of school. We had class day on Friday, the prom on Saturday, baccalaureate on Sunday. We went on our senior trip on Monday to Mammoth Cave, and we graduated on Wednesday. That was just real rushed.
Yeah. I do remember that.
Well, I don't have much to say, except it's good to see everyone. And it'd be nice, means we all have each other's address in our little book, if we could send each other a card at Christmas or something. Just let us know we're all right.
Charlotte?
Well, I do remember something that we did in high school, and I thought it was so funny, and I have decided that perhaps what is funny to someone that is 15 years old may not be funny to somebody, what was it, 27, 28? 28 as we are now. However, Mrs. Alexander's Latin class decided that we were going to put on a convocation, and we all wore bed sheets, and I remember that one of the lines was, how many apples did you eat? 8, 2, Brutes. Right. But anyway, the thing that I remember about this that was the most fun was that Mrs. Alexander said that every time the word war was said on stage, that backstage the guys were supposed to make a lot of noise, and that was supposed to illustrate or heighten the word war. So we were well into it, and the people who were not on stage was having a whole lot more fun than the people who were on stage. And the people on stage said the word war, and they paused. And someone backstage said, war, we're supposed to, and Bob Crow kicked a folding chair, a metal folding chair. And the only thing that went wrong was he kicked it so hard, it went way up in the air. They had started their next line and was about 3 lines into it, and that sucker landed. And I still remember it.
No way.
So anyway, that's one of the things I remember.
Okay. Kurt?
Well, I saw a lot of strange people today. I haven't seen most of them for 40 years. I haven't seen them. So it's good to see everybody.
Mary?
Well, I was a little depressed going up to Hillcrest. It wasn't what I expected. I expected, I guess, just to go back up there and see things the way they used to be. So if I'd had it to do over, that's one trip I wouldn't have taken.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Too much nostalgia. Noah?
Well, I'm just glad to be here today. Glad to see everybody. And the tour, I really appreciate that. It brings back a lot of old memories and different things. And looking forward to seeing everybody tonight. So just enjoy being here.
Good. We've been around.
Don.
No, I'm sorry. I'll leave Donnie out.
Always wish
He's
saved the
coming
best
up
for
to
last.
you,
I'm glad to see everybody that's here. One thing that, along what Mary said, that really brought back a lot of memories for me was the gym there, where the gym used to be. I just can't see how they got all those people in that little place. You know, it just seems so smaller now than it did when I was in high school. But it has a lot of fond memories for me, especially the gym. I'm glad to see everybody.
Okay. Who had the best story here? We're going to have to throw a coin, toss a coin or something. Somebody's going to get a prize. Who had the funniest story to tell? How many votes for Charlotte? Clap for Charlotte.
I can help.
How about Bill? Clap for Bill?
Clap for Charlotte.
It's just a toss-up. I'm going to give you Raymond.
What about Raymond?
Oh, the Raymond has a good story. We'll just give you each one. That's a little bit sweet for the story that you told. Who else? Leo. Leo had a little bit to tell us. From school, we have the past around. We hope you had a good time today. Phil's got some things he wants to say. I just wanted to do these little fun things because I thought it would be kind of fun to know some of the things we remember. I remember a lot of things about the gym. I think about along the wall as you went in there, just the first few feet of the bleachers there. If you remember, there were only like 3 or 4 bleachers deep. And I can still see Paul Farlow sitting against the wall. The ball games. He always sat right there and, you know, back up against the wall where he had something to lean back against. A lot of things to remember. Nobody mentioned our junior year when we had the prom, when we did the prom, and the islands we built in the middle of the gym floor. You, Charlotte, and I remember, we carried in trees and dirt and weeds and everything you can think of to build this island in the middle of the floor. And that was a lot of fun. I think you always have more fun doing that kind of thing than you do when you're the senior and are the honored guest. The junior year is always a little more fun. Outside of that, my memories are really good of everybody here, and I'm so glad to see you all. Now I'll turn it over to Phil.
Just a couple more announcements. Dwayne's taking the video. You maybe already know about this, but there's a sign-up sheet over there on that buffet behind Bill Paget, Kenny. If you want a video, it's $15, and you can sign up and pay him today, and then he'll mail them to you a week from
Yesterday.
next Friday.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing, Don Stan's going to be here about 2 o'clock.
He's outside.
Is he? Oh, he's okay. About any time we're ready, I guess, and take group pictures, and they're going to be color pictures, and they're $9 if you want to sign up for those. In a minute, at some time, we're going to pass a basket around and cover these are expensive like this. Coming back a month, I don't think. But again, we have, pardon me?
Be sure and leave tips.
Okay, tips on the table. Again, I want to thank Joanne and Ken and Sue and whoever, and Ruth, and whoever got together and kind of started putting this thing together a few months ago. What's the feeling about it? We want to try to do it again in 5 years from now? Pretty much. Everybody very much in favor of that? Yes. Okay. If you would, keep us updated on your addresses if you move or change addresses between now, but it's hard to find some people when they move. We don't have no idea, which way to go. So,
You don't know who to send them to. This is a small town. Send it to Phil Smith, Paoli, and you'll get it.
Or Joanne.
Right.
How many people have we lost totally? We have no idea who they are.
We have 2 people we could not reach, Mary Jane Rowe and Kenneth Waltz. And 2 that are dead, Philip Couch and Jeanette Ransom. Other than that, I had 56 addresses.
Did pretty well, most of it.
Yes.
We do have some expenses. We'll pass a basket that way and one this way. If you can donate a little extra, it'll be helpful because we do have to pay for the use of the room and some printing that we had done on the booklets and postage and things.
I just enjoyed being here and look forward to the next one. It'd be nice to see everybody and everything. And I enjoyed the meal and the tour and everything. It's just been wonderful. And outside of that, I just hope I'll be able to join the next one.
I have enjoyed the day. Of course, I have missed one of the reunions in the last 40 years. There's lots of people that have missed them, and when they do miss them, they really miss seeing the people. And I think it's nice that today we've had a really good turnout. I believe this is the most people we've had come in the last 40 years. Maybe they'll all come again next time.
Thank you.
Day? Been great so far. Had a lovely time. Enjoyed the school. I really saw a lot of people I didn't know today. If you remember when we first walked up there and said, "You know any of these people?" I think I picked out about 3 that I really knew. And then Mary came in, a couple others came in I recognized. So all in all, I probably knew 10 people. Out of the bunch that's here today, probably must be 30 here. But I've enjoyed it very much. Probably will be back for the next 5 minutes. Okay? Ready? Okay?
I'm on. What are we going to do now?
You want to say something about your experience today? Do you have any feelings about seeing all these people?
No, I just enjoyed it very much to see all these people again after so many years, and it brings back a lot of memories for me.
Does it seem like 40 years?
No, seems like maybe 10 years. That's all. I know it's been 40 years though. I can look at everybody and see, and look at myself. It's been a long time, but I'm glad to see everybody once again.
It's amazing that we're still so young.
That's right. All these people get so old so fast. Well, I don't understand.
Okay, I really don't know what to add to what already's been said, but it's really been fun seeing everybody. Of course, Merle and I live here in town, and we see a lot of folks from the class regularly, but it's so good to see those out of town and have fun together. We sure had that, and I'm sure looking forward to the next reunion.
Thank
Your classmates at work, and there's one other couple. Bill and you can see his face.
Right in there. Get you right in between. We'll be able to see you. Take 3 shots, then I'll change cameras and get it in black and white, okay? Here we go. On 3, ready? 1, 2, hold it. And again, hold it.
Smile.
Right here's the camera, everybody. On 3, 1, 2. Okay, now don't move.
One time, Mr. Stoneup asked what the oldest living in the United States was. And the answer was the General Sherman, General Grant trees. And Harriet Jones spoke up and said, Miss McKittrick, do you remember that? Yes. I had forgotten that one. Well, if you think in 10 years I'm going to give up, you're wrong.
Hi, Dwayne. Hi, Kurt.
Is that no singer, Rick?
Needles, thread. That probably said something across there.
Look at the basins and the soap.
The water dipper.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yes, he did.
Yeah, I did. I got it on tape.